Welcome back. This is our first episode for a build, and basically I'm just going to wing it and talk you through it. We chose to do a little build of Balin's tomb from Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Personally, I love this scene. I've had the Lord of the Rings models for a couple of years just sitting there, and as you saw at the beginning, I found a really cool 3D print just on Thingiverse. If anybody knows I should give credit to, please let me know down in the comments below. It's been a while since I've used the 3D printer, so I'm just running it through a couple of circles just to make sure it's printing properly, and I level out the bed as well, install some new PLA, and we should be good to go. Here we can see the print underway. It's going pretty well. This one took a total of 2 days and a couple of hours, but worked pretty well. I'm happy with how it came out, which we'll see in a little second. Just a bit of all round, bit of a progress shot. I did try to do some quick edits, but they ended up very large files and didn't quite work. And here we have the final product, which I was really happy with, considering that it's not a resin and just a PLA. It looks pretty good. Next up, we had a few little bits and pieces from the kit that you can buy from Games Workshop, which is the Balin's Tomb kit. I didn't want to put that together. I wanted to make this sort of little diorama here, but took these little extras just because they're good prints. They've got some good skeletons, good detail, and add those to our print here, just with a little bit of super glue. Works pretty well with a PLA print. Next up, I add some ground texture just to the sides of what we've glued down, just to build the ground up. You don't really want to have just a flat surface. You want, lots of different contours and build up. Makes it look a little bit more realistic. So we build that in, put some surface down on the flatter areas. Makes it look just that little bit more realistic and doesn't make the extras stand out as much either. Next up, we're going to add some more ground texture. I start by applying some PVA glue in the flatter areas. Again, we just want to minimize that flatness. I do this randomly, just wherever I feel it should be, wherever there are bigger spots. And then once the PVA is down, I use some talus. This is a medium grade, so you can see they're a little bit bigger. Pat them down, and then off to the side there I've got some Army Painter's ground texture. I add that in. That's a little smaller into the gaps, and yeah, just give it a bit of a tap off, push it in, make sure it's adhering to the PVA, and that's what we look like. To add another layer, I throw some tufts in, again just in random areas, random, and sometimes I use it to also fill the gaps. We will paint these later, but it just adds that next layer of realism to the diorama. And here we have our first undercoat using the Mechanica Standard Grey, and then I give this another spray just with a titanium finish to give it a bit of shine. The first dry coat we're going to do is with a Ministerium Grey. I go quite heavy with this. Obviously, when you start dry brushing, I like to start dark and go lighter and lighter. So this was my first dark coat. As you can see, I get all the flat areas and all the raised areas. Next, we use Celestra Grey, and again hit all the same sort of areas that I hit with the previous coat, um, and then move on. Third is Gracia, and here I'm being very light, hitting all the sort of bones and the areas that light could hit, including a lot of the edges. Last is Wraithbone, and this is mainly just for the skeletons. Really highlight where they are on the board. Hit some of the edges, but again, being that it's closer to a white, be very liberal with it. Start to wash, and here just using skeleton horn, obviously hitting all the skeletons, make them stand out. You can start to see them pop. Next up, the snakebite leather. This I used, there were a couple of books, obviously Balin's book, and then there was a little bit of cloth on there too. Highlight the weapons that are laying on the ground with a little bit of lead belcher, followed by the null oil. Again, this I use a fair bit, just to darken up those spots that might have become a bit lighter, pick out some areas that you want to be darker. Anything that's shining through as white, you don't want any white shining through anywhere. White is it's an unnatural color when it comes to the natural world. Next, a little bit of Hoth blue. I use this only because it highlights the sort of light that might be coming through. And then I further that with Temple Guard blue, mainly down on the tomb, just because the scene does show a lot of light coming through onto the tomb itself. Use a bit of gold just to highlight some areas. You don't have to do this. This is more just to add another layer to it. Some Reichland Flesh Shade. Again, just on the gold that we've put through, maybe on a few of the browns, just to darken it up. Next, I'm getting out the glue again. This is going to be just to add a layer of sort of cobwebs, is the effect that I was going for. I'm actually using just a static grass. It's meant to be a snow, but it's sort of a grey, which I thought would mix quite well with this diorama. Can't really see it here, it doesn't show up too well, but again, just randomly do that. And here we have the models. So this is the Games Workshop kit that I've had sitting around for a few years now. Looks like a good kit. It was pretty easy to put together. The Lord of the Rings tabletop game is, the models are pretty well detailed and pretty easy to put together. I'm just going to put them on their bases just to make it a little bit easier for the painting side of things. We'll give them an undercoat using some Wraithbone spray, followed by another highlight of the titanium just to give it a little bit of pop. First up, I did Gandalf the Grey. Now, I didn't film painting all the Fellowship only because it would have taken too long to show it all, but I did stick to the box art that was supplied and mainly put a lot of effort into Gandalf just because he's my favourite. You can see here just giving him a final coat with the nun oil. Obviously white and black make grey, so it turned out pretty well, and then finally gave him a highlight with the blue. Ooh, shall not pass. And next we'll see the rest of them. Just have to remove them from their bases, cut off the little tags and give them a good sand down so we can glue them onto the little diorama. Just going back to the cobweb phase, I wasn't too happy with the static grass that was applied. I found this really cool sort of filler, packer filler, and worked out that if you sort of spread it apart and then stick it on without glue, it works quite well and gives a good cobweb effect. Lastly, I dry fitted the models just with a bit of tack, just to make sure they're going to be in the right position. Tried to stick to the movie as best as possible, and that was it. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy the reveal.